Hi, everyone, and welcome to Our Disabled Future, a series where disabled voices lead the way. I'm your host, Nico, and it is a good day for disability inclusion. Each day during Disability Pride Month and beyond, I'm amplifying real disabled stories, where we are, where we want to go, and how the heck we're going to get there. Together, I hope. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Megan. Let's dive in. Hi, Megan. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Nico.
Of course. So tell us about yourself and about your disabled life.
So obviously my name is Megan. Work-wise, I'm an academic advisor at a Research One institution. So I help college students figure out their path. For me, on the personal end, um, I'm an artist, a student, um, took on teaching this semester too, so that's been a really good time. Um, but as a disabled person, I have rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, you name a joint problem, I probably have it. Um, but we've been playing that game for about 20 years, so I'm pretty confident in my ability to do all the things now.
I love that. I'm glad you found some stability. So, what does a disability friendly future look like for you?
I think, especially as someone who works at a university, I I see a lot of the barriers and challenges myself and students face on campuses, and tend to be more liberal, accepting places, generally speaking. So I think for me, a disabled friendly future is one where we don't have to fight for accessibility, where doors don't weigh a million pounds just to get opened, and there are push buttons where we need them, but also that we're using like universal design and learning in the classroom. So that way there don't have to be separate rooms, especially in the K-12 for disabled students or those with learning disabilities, that accommodations don't have to be asked for, they're just done. I think that for me would be huge because I know a lot of my students struggle with the stigma of having to ask for those things. And for me, that's kind of old hat. Like I'm used to asking for those things, and it's kind of how I help navigate the world and advocate for them. But I think having to ask is usually the biggest barrier. Like we want to be able to fully integrate into society and do the things that other people do without having to ask for extra help because we should just be able to do them.
Absolutely. Disabled people can do 99% of the things that able bodied people can do, or rather, non disabled people can do.
Mhm.
Megan, you give me a really good scheme for how we can make a disability friendly future. So, how are we going to get there? What's our strategy? What do you think?
I think we have to be our own biggest advocates and bring our allies into those conversations. Um, I'm pretty able passing, just because of the disabilities that I have. So leveraging that when I have conversations with administrators or faculty members or even the general public and using that to my advantage to advocate on behalf of myself and others. But also we find that in our own community, like making community spaces for us where those accommodation conversations don't have to happen because we're thinking about ourselves and we're thinking about our allies and our colleagues and our friends and making it easier for everyone to function. I think a good thing for me that kind of hit a huge light bulb when I was first working in like advocacy spaces was thinking about ramps and how like people see, oh, you have to add a ramp for wheelchair users and things like that. But moms with strollers or elderly people who use mobility aids like canes or walkers, it benefits all of us. And you don't have to have stairs, you could just have a ramp. So, like, thinking more broadly about how people use spaces and use tools, it just seems like such an easy thing now that I've been in this space for so long, but taking the time to educate those who aren't in this space or who haven't interacted with disabled people regularly, I think is probably one of the most powerful pieces.
Sure. Thank you for doing that go between work.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. All right, Megan, as our time today draws to a close, I want to use this last bit of time to give you a chance that you and I, as disabled people, rarely get. And that is a chance to brag about yourself, promote anything cool you've done recently, or maybe have upcoming.
Yeah.
If you want to grow your presence online, be a big popular influencer, where can people find you? This is just free space for you to promote yourself however you want. So let's hear it.
I think so the easiest way to find me online is just by using my full name. It's a pretty rare name combination, so I'm fairly easy to find either on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the normal places. I think the coolest thing I probably am doing recently is I'm working on a second master's degree just for funsies because our union pays for it. So living my best life and taking educational opportunities where I can. I'm teaching by myself for the first time in the fall at the college level, which will be really cool. Um, More so for my students than for anyone else, but I think it's pretty awesome as like a disabled person to be like in a faculty role where we don't necessarily visibly see people with disabilities pretty regularly. Um, I think those are like the big fun things. For now, I'm just kind of trying to chill out after the academic year this summer.
That's awesome. You deserve that rest, and it sounds like you have big things coming up.
Yes, I'm very
I can't
excited.
wait to hear how they go.
Yes, I'm super excited for them. I think it'll be a nice change to give a little more excitement to my everyday academic advising life.
Sure. All right, folks. Tune in next time. Remember, this is our disabled future, and we're building it one day at a time together. Wherever you go and whatever you do, I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Bye.